The cameras flashed, the crowd froze, and just like that, the media cycle had a brand new obsession.
A completely unexpected twist.
Welcome to Starscope Report. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today's deep dive is, well, it's a heavy one, but it is incredibly fascinating.
Yeah, we're unpacking a major headline. So on May 20, 2026, the sudden announcement dropped that Vanessa Trump, the 48-year-old ex-wife of Donald Trump Jr., has been diagnosed with breast cancer.
Which sent absolute shockwaves through social media.
Totally. And our mission today is to look way beyond just that initial headline. We want to synthesize exactly how this deeply personal health crisis intersects with two massive American dynasties.
Right, the Trumps in the woods.
Exactly. And, we really want to explore what the polarizing public reaction reveals about how we all consume modern media. So whether you follow golf, politics, or pop culture, this deep dive is going to give you a really fascinating look at how private tragedies play out on the public stage.
Because it's never just a simple announcement, is it?
No, never. So let's lay out the foundational facts first. On Wednesday, May 20, 2026, Vanessa Trump, who, as we know, is the mother of 5 children with Donald Trump Jr., she posts this really sobering update on her Instagram story.
Yeah, that choice of platform is key.
Right. She revealed her breast cancer diagnosis, and she noted she had already undergone a medical procedure earlier in the week, and that she's working closely with a medical team on a treatment plan.
What's fascinating here is the carefully crafted tone of the announcement. I mean, it's just a masterclass in crisis PR, frankly.
Oh, absolutely.
Because an Instagram story is ephemeral, right? It disappears in 24 hours. So from a public relations standpoint, she's controlling the lifespan of that initial shockwave.
It's like a containment burn. You know, like how firefighters burn a small patch of brush to stop a massive, uncontrolled wildfire from spreading.
That is a perfect analogy, actually.
Yeah. By releasing a little bit of controlled bad news on her own terms, she totally stops the tabloids from igniting this massive rumor mill. And the timeline she gives acts as part of that containment.
Exactly, because she specifically notes a medical procedure from earlier in the week.
Right, which is not a throwaway detail. She's signaling to the public, like, hey, I am not in a state of free fall here. She's already taking action.
It completely shifts the narrative from a breaking crisis to a managed situation.
Mm-hmm.
And she also emphasizes staying hopeful, right?
Mm-hmm.
She specifically requests privacy while leaning heavily on the support of her kids.
Yeah, Kai, Donald III, Tristan, Spencer, and Chloe.
And the immediate family reactions really reinforce this fortified front. Her former sister-in-law, Ivanka Trump, left a very supportive comment saying, praying for your continued strength and a swift recovery. Love you, Mama.
Which is really sweet. And we also saw that touching Mother's Day tribute just recently from her 19-year-old daughter, Kai.
Right. Calling her the best mom she could ever ask for.
Wait, here's where it gets really interesting to me. I have to push back a little here.
Okay, go for it.
How does a public figure actually maintain this requested boundary of privacy when their children are actively stepping into the public eye themselves?
That is the million-dollar question.
Because look at Kai. She is rapidly becoming a prominent social media personality. She's a competitive golfer heading to the University of Miami. You can't ask the public to passionately follow your daughter's golf career on Instagram on a Tuesday and then expect them to completely look away from the family on Wednesday.
Well, the spotlight doesn't have an off switch, right?
Exactly. It's super porous.
It is, but public figures in this echelon, they don't really expect total invisibility. They expect compartmentalization.
Like putting things in neat little boxes.
Right. Vanessa's essentially saying, you can have access to my daughter's athletic achievements, but my medical chart is strictly off limits.
But the algorithm doesn't care about your compartments.
No, it absolutely does not. Kai's rising star means the public's attention naturally drifts toward the household. And that attention, it becomes exponentially more intense when you factor in the other major presence in Vanessa's life right now.
Oh, man, yeah. Which perfectly brings us to our next point. But wait till you hear how Tiger Woods fits into all this, because it is wild.
It really is.
Facing a cancer diagnosis is obviously a monumental challenge on its own. But the timing here makes this a bizarre double crisis.
Double crisis, definitely.
Because Vanessa's stepping into this intense health battle just as her partner is navigating a highly publicized recovery of his own.
Right, and we're talking about 50-year-old golf legend Tiger Woods.
Yes. They've been dating since December 2024, and I guess they met through the Benjamin School in Palm Beach Gardens.
Yeah, both of their children attend the school, which is actually a remarkably normal origin story for Two incredibly famous people.
Right, meeting at a school function, but their current reality is just, it's anything but normal. It's like trying to rebuild the foundation of your house while a hurricane is actively swirling around it.
Wow. Yeah, that really paints a picture.
Because Vanessa is starting these grueling cancer treatments right as Tiger is returning home to Jupiter, Florida, after a 6-week rehab stint in Zurich, Switzerland.
And we have to remember the context of that rehab stint.
Right. Following that late March DUI arrest and the car crash, he pleaded not guilty to those charges on March 31.
So you have two people relatively early in their relationship facing massive public existential crises at the exact same time. The structural integrity of a partnership is usually tested years down the line, but they are immediately in the trenches.
It's so much pressure. She's trying to be a stabilizing force for a partner coming out of intensive rehab, and he's now tasked with supporting her through breast cancer treatments.
Despite all the chaos, though, sources indicate they are still very much in love. I mean, Tiger actually left his rehab program early, specifically to attend Kai Trump's high school graduation.
Which is a huge gesture.
It's massive.
Yeah.
It shows he is deeply integrating into the lives of her 5 children. They're reportedly relying on their mutual love of golf to weather all this.
Golf as an anchor. That makes sense.
Yeah, Vanessa is super eager to help him move past the public scandals, and Tiger is heavily invested in mentoring Kai for her UMiami collegiate career. Golf provides this highly structured routine when your life is spinning out of control.
But that anchor is going to be tested every time Kai plays a tournament. Cameras are going to be tracking Tiger and Vanessa's body language, looking for cracks in the facade.
Oh, without a doubt.
And later in the episode, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming when the public actually reacted to this news. It is mind-blowing.
The contrast is just staggering.
It really is. And hey, if you're loving these Hollywood twists and deep dives, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead, so hit that subscribe button.
You definitely don't want to miss what's coming next.
Okay, so moving from the private dynamics of their relationship to the macro lens, how is the outside world reacting to this news?
It reveals a really stark divide between the sports community and the political arena.
It really does. The immediate outpouring of support from the golf world was so protective. Social media accounts like NUCLR, Jagerlef, and Tiger Woods Legion, they immediately sent prayers to both Vanessa and Tiger.
Yeah, acknowledging that Tiger has really been through the ringer lately.
Exactly. The golf community basically extended this protective embrace because she's part of his ecosystem. But step outside that silo.
And into the political arena, right?
Yeah, and that embrace completely vanishes.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, there's a fascinating political parallel here. Back in March, Susie Wiles, Donald Trump's chief of staff, also announced a breast cancer diagnosis.
Wow, I completely forgot about that.
Right, and it highlights this stark reality that 1 in 8 women face this disease. It momentarily humanizes the entire political machine. Cancer doesn't care about your politics.
It is the ultimate equalizer. But the public's reaction to that equalization is where things get really messy. We dug into the Newsweek comment section on the article about Vanessa's diagnosis.
And we have to give a crucial impartiality note here before we get into this.
Yes, absolutely. Please listen carefully. We are impartially reporting these comments solely to examine internet culture. We're not endorsing any political viewpoints from the left or the right. We're just holding up a mirror to the source material to see how society reacts.
And that reflection is pretty intense. When you look at those comments, you see the polarization clearly. On one side, you had left-wing commenters weaponizing the cancer announcement to criticize Donald Trump.
It was wild. They were bringing up his lack of a healthcare plan, ICE enforcement centers, tariffs, his association with RFK Jr.
They even referenced a gold-encrusted arch and alleged cuts to cancer research funding.
Yeah, one commenter basically said, like, I wish her the best, but what about the women losing health care because Trump doesn't have a plan?
That right there is a psychological concept known as moral licensing.
Oh, break that down for us.
So moral licensing is when someone does something good, or in this case, says something socially acceptable like, I wish her the best, and that acts as a moral shield. It gives their brain permission to feel like a good person, which then licenses them to immediately launch into a vitriolic political attack without feeling guilty.
Wow. So Vanessa Trump, the human being, just ceases to exist to them.
Exactly. She is reduced to a proxy for an administration she hasn't even been part of since her divorce in 2018.
That is so dark. But then on the other side of the comments, you had people pushing back against this politicization.
Right, the digital immune system kicking in.
Yeah, commenters were arguing that a woman's health crisis shouldn't be used for political snark. They were just wishing her a full recovery and calling out the trolls.
Which really asks a huge question of us.
Yeah. So, what does this all mean for you, the listener, when you consume news today? Has the digital age inherently stripped away our empathy? Like turning a 48-year-old mother's cancer diagnosis into just another piece of ammunition for political tribalism.
It certainly feels that way when you read those threads. The algorithm just strips away the nuance.
It really does. It's an incredible complexity because what starts as a personal health update on Instagram is instantly magnified by this high-profile romance with Tiger Woods, and then it is completely refracted through the unforgiving lens of internet politics.
It's exhausting. But behind the headlines, we have to remember there is a family simply trying to navigate a terrifying diagnosis. There are 5 kids worried about their mom.
Exactly. The humanity is still there underneath all the noise. Which leaves us with the final provocative thought for you to mull over.
Something to really think about.
If a simple private health update can instantly trigger fierce debates about international tariffs and healthcare policy in a comment section, are we losing the ability to view public figures as human beings first?
That is a scary thought.
Think about that the next time you find yourself scrolling through the comments on a breaking news story. Are you seeing the person or just the politics?
Keep questioning the bigger picture.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.